Guys, welcome to another episode of Crypto Casual. Appreciate you showing up and continuing to show up and support this new channel. Um, for those of it's your first time here, let me shrink down my screen. There we go. For those of the first time, I sort of put an esoteric twist. If you don't know what that word is, look it up or look at my back videos. It just means knowledge within. And the more knowledge you have within and understanding yourself, the more you can understand the outside world. And so what I've done is paired the esoteric with the exoteric, and especially with Bitcoin because it's the new consciousness for me. For those it is their first time here, appreciate you showing up. I am Chuck, your host, and I am your esoteric crypto coach. And this is a SO crypto community. We can call it an eco-SO community. I don't really care. It's just a community of people of like-minded. We bring in spirituality, if you will, or electrical perspectives into the new consciousness. And one of the fundamental manifestations of this new consciousness that we are beginning to see is cryptocurrency. It takes us out of the enslaved governmental minds and institutions and brings us into a free, open source, open community, supportive community, an incentivized community. So this is what my SO crypto community is about: helping, teaching, and getting you to understand yourself. And when you can understand yourself, you can understand the world around you a little better. All right. Basically, for me, Bitcoin is the binary, the Christ, which is basically, again, humans are upgrading to a new frequency. And y'all can look at that. If you're already in the esoteric world, you know what I'm talking about. If not, just humans, their minds are speeding up. And because of that, we are able to produce things faster, quicker, understand information. What it took someone to learn a PhD in, the time it took them to learn that PhD, we can pretty much learn it in about a year sitting in front of a computer now. And learn it at a hell of a lot cheaper rate. So we don't necessarily need the governmental institution systems anymore, or their indoctrination camps. We can go in and learn what we want to learn and learn how we want it and when we want it. We don't have to sit at little cubicles and desks and do what they say and put your little voice covering material over your mouth. But that's another conversation for another time. We're not going to get political here. I may jab here and there, but it's not a political channel. It is actually helping us to see life from a bigger perspective. So I am here to serve you. My community is here to serve you. We want to do what we can to help you live a simple and rich life. If you want a complicated, rich life, I'm not your channel. If you want a complicated, poor life, I'm not your channel. I am here for a simple and rich life. We can enjoy our riches without being egotistical. We can use our money to help other people. And yeah, just make a better community, make a better life. Surround yourself with the people you want to be. All right, so we're just here to help you feel better within and to become and successfully better. And we're going to use these fundamental strategies of personal growth frameworks. When you understand your own internal trinity, which is the cosmic fire, i.e. electricity, BTC, and the holistic you, you'll understand life a whole lot better. And for those who don't know my format, we got the of the day behavioral framework, news, charts, and influencers. I present to you all this information to not just listen to me, but go out and take that next step. Take an actionable step, because that's how you change your life. It's how you change yourself, by taking action. Guys, and if you will, help me get this channel rolling. I know it's new, but we'll keep it going. I figure the first 100 videos would be a little awkward and adapting, but do me the favor of like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, because again, we know the algorithms love that stuff. We need to feed the robot their information. And if that helps us get the message out, then by all means, we'll help the AI out as well. And for those, I'm just a guy making videos, sharing his knowledge with you, what he's learned over the years. And so I want to present you with what I've learned, what I don't want to repeat, what I want to repeat. To help others and basically understand why we're even here on this earth. And it's basically here to serve. And it's here to serve what your gift is to others. And we'll get into some of that later. So do your own research. The ultimate responsibility is on you for your thoughts, words, and actions. And we'll get into some of that taking responsibility again tonight. Let's get into our esoteric thought. We place meaning to everything. And right here, Pablo Picasso basically said, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give your gift away. And so when you've learned something, share it with other people. Right? We can charge other people for it. That's fine. We got to have an exchange of energy, an exchange of thermodynamic energy. But for the main part, we just want to share what we know with other people, help them out get there to the step where we don't want to hand feed them. We want them to learn, create their own fishing pole. We can teach them where to find the best pole, but they got to chop it down, they got to string it, and they got to understand the waves of the currents to catch that fish. So the framework that goes along with this esoteric thought is, guys, we're here for a minimal time. We are here, we are cradle to grave, and everything in between is just basically making it up and getting along. And throughout our history, we don't get along very well. We have little respites of peace in between war, but the respites of peace are just to restock our armaments, and then we go back to war. So hopefully with this new consciousness, we can change 10,000, 50,000, million years of history. I know it's a big ask, but we can do our best. And so the more of us that can serve over lifetimes and reincarnations and whatnot, then we can help change the tide of negativity into positivity, if you will. All right, so just know you're here, you're born, and the moment you're born, you're already on your way to death. So get as much done as possible while you're here and have fun with it. So we need to understand what sometimes keeps us from becoming who we are, or knowing what our gifts are, our talents, our abilities, whatever you want to call these. It's a unique perspective that you have on the world, and you share it with other people. So all external beliefs are learned and limited. And I say external because when you learned your belief systems, you learned them. They weren't yours. So internally, you'll discern your own system of rights and wrongs, morals and amoral actions and reactions to things. The internal is just all about, you know something is just not right, don't do it, right? Because then it always comes back against your own system. So all external or exoteric beliefs are learned, and they are limited. So basically, whatever it is that you've been taught is a limited belief system. And most of what you've been taught is by a system that wanted to indoctrinate you into their way of believing, to be their pets, to extract your energy, to extract your money, to extract everything from you and keep it for themselves and share it with their other rich cronies, which is fine. And that's their system. I don't want to be a part of that. If I have riches and riches, then I'm sharing it with people. Again, I'm not going to spoon feed them, but I will use the resources to assist other people. So let's get on. Confidence and self-esteem. Confidence is self-esteem. Confidence is just with life. 5 means life. Fidelity. This means life in its essence. And your confidence, if you're not confident, is because you're still telling your drama story over and over and over from a limited perspective. You're not growing. And that's fine. It's not a wrong or right thing, but when you get tired of telling the same old story over and over and expecting different results, then you'll start working toward confidence or living life, living it with other people, sharing it with other people, and making the world better around you. Because if you want a better world, then you got to start. It starts with you. So low self-esteem people who lack confidence, personalize everything. So they're always offended, right? No matter what you say, because basically when they're offended, it's because somewhere deep inside them they already believe that about themselves. So if they are offended, it's because they have a low self-esteem. Now again, I'm generalizing, so don't start emailing me or giving me comments of this, that, and the other. You understand what I'm saying. And if you are offended by this, then you need to check in with yourself and ask why this is offending you. Why are you making the choice to be offended? Right? It's your perspective, it's your belief, it's your thought. Who's thinking that thought that you're offended? Who came up with that learned system? You did. So if you want to not be offended by everything that happens in life and all the TVs and anything that you hear in life that you're offended by, you want to change that, then start looking deeper within yourself. Right? And that's what these frameworks are about. It's not to judge you. I don't want to be judged, so nor do I want to judge you. What I want to do is present you with the different alternatives to maybe a cyclical formation you're stuck in right now. So if you want to have more riches, you want to get freedom, you want Bitcoin, you want cryptocurrencies, then you got to learn how to turn my phone off. And let me, yeah, you got to change the cycles, right? And that starts with a thought, your thought, right? We can listen to other people's thoughts and say, hey, that's a good idea. Maybe I can implement that. So the difference between someone really doing their work and not doing their work, change has no ing, right? I hear people, my clients all the time will come to me and say, oh yeah, I want to get out of this relationship, or I want to get out of this job, or I want to get out, or I want to lose 50 pounds, or whatever that is, right? And then they come back to me the next week after we put a framework into motion, and I'm like, well, how's it going? Well, I was thinking, right, of doing it. I was still thinking about divorcing this person. I was thinking, and so aiming is not going to get you anywhere, guys. You know, action is getting you everywhere. You need to act on energy or ions. Acting on the ions is action. So with limited understanding, because you're still stuck in your cycles and not opening up and taking responsibility for your thoughts, you're still going to be limited in your observations of things. And therefore, you always shortchange yourself. So you always go to where you believe or where you've been taught or who indoctrinated you for your support. So if you want to get out, there's no inging, it's just doing, but not the inging. Doing is action, not to confuse you guys. All right. Knowing is different than beliefs or believing. Right? Once you know something, it's an internal understanding. It's not an external validating metric system. You just know it. Right? In the word knowing is now. So when I'm in the present moment, the unfolding moment, the undefended moment, I know it. I know what I'm doing is right action. The action I'm taking is right for me. It is not right for anyone else. It is my right action. It is not opposite of wrong. Right? There's flow. You can swim against the river or against it or with it. There's no wrong or right. It just depends. If you're an athlete, you swim against it to get stronger. So it's just all perspective at this point, guys. The governments, or those who govern your mind, take what you earn. They want you to be their little minion, and when you expend your energy, your biothermodynamic energy from you, they want to extract it, keeping you weak, and then paying you minimal, and then at the same time debasing your currency, and then inflating prices. So you will never, ever, ever catch up if you stay within their governing mind system. Right? This is not a wrong or right. I'm not judging it. I'm simply stating that however long the system power has been in place, they always take from the smaller people to enrich themselves. And again, nothing wrong or right about that system, but you have to make a choice of what system you want to support. And the system I support is my system. My system then helps support other people. So yeah, you got to look at taking responsibility, disadhering from these labels. Now let me back up. BTC is knowledge. So once you understand and you learn, you take and not subvert your intelligence to an indoctrinated system, such as the government, because they are the ones who financially support the systems. They're the ones who give you loans to go learn their information. So they put you in debt to go learn their information and be indoctrinated. Again, not good or bad. I'm not against it for it. I went through those systems. I took from it what I did, but I never drank their Kool-Aid. I never subscribed to their system. I only subscribe to my system. I like what I like, and I subscribe to what I like. That works for me. And when that changes, when that cycle no longer serves me, because if it's not serving me, I can't serve other people. And if I'm not taking responsibility for myself, and I cannot help other people understand and be responsible for themselves. That makes sense. But BTC is knowledge. So the more knowledge we learn about ourselves, the more we open up and the more we understand that this new system, this new financial, this new money system, real money, is going to free you out of their indoctrinated systems. So the more you adhere from their labels, PhD and all these other names that they give you to falsely make you feel confident. But if we were able to get stuck on an island, or the whole world goes to crap, their PhDs are worthless, right? Unless they have engineering degrees that they can build stuff. Now they're worth something, but you don't need an engineering degree to build stuff. I know people who are brilliant. I knew a person in my younger days where They were illiterate. They didn't go to school, but man, could they tear an engine apart. They knew everything and anything about an engine. They tore pieces apart that you couldn't even, that manufacturers couldn't even take apart. And so they were brilliant, right? So they didn't need a degree. They just needed to understand. And they learned from their own environment. You know, their environment taught them what they needed to learn. Nature teaches you what you need to learn. We used the Fibonacci sequence in trading, uh, which is in nature everywhere. So if you observe nature, you can understand the patterns of cryptocurrency. And you can understand the currencies of government and the patterns of government. And you can get out of their way and let them live their life, and you live your life differently. So by disadhering from labels, right, that you're not good enough, or government labels, when you disadhere from those, you show responsibility, you show ownership of your own existence, your own life, your own mind, your own body, your own health. So be more than labels, guys. Go beyond labels. Extract those labels. If those labels aren't you, if you learn those labels, because labels come from beliefs, and beliefs come from learned information, right? So if you want to sort of get out of this cradle to grave or understand the meaning of this whole life, is basically take your age right now, whatever you're at, right, and subtract it from 80. Well, that's how many years you got left on this planet. So do you want to go another 5, 10 years under someone other's governing reign of your mind, body, and soul? Or do you want to reign under your own sentiency, your own intelligence? So there's your question. All right, enough of that preaching for one day, guys. Let's get on to the news and definition. News, here what I like. Fidelity. Right, we talked about that FI, that confidence. That Fidelity says it's a business. Fidelity says 90% of their biggest clients want Bitcoin exposure. And Fidelity is a money manager system. So basically, the services, 90% of them are interested in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Right? This was founded in the 1940s. They manage over $10.4 trillion, guys. So when these big industries are coming in, you better know darn well, because this was created for the people, by the people, for the people. And governments and corporations are coming in after you. You're still early. There's still time to get in and understand and learn this new system. But you got to get out of the indoctrinated system. Cool? All right. Go back. Definition of the day. Block Explorer. We hear this. So a lot of times people are like, well, when they're new, they're like, I sent this money. I have no proof. Where did it go? Where did it go? I can't find it. Or if there's something on the other end is not happening, the Block Explorer is where you can go see where every transaction you've ever done. Right? So it's an online tool to for exploring blockchain and cryptocurrencies, where you can watch and follow live all the transactions that are happening on the blockchain. So Block Explorers can serve as a blockchain analyst and provide information such as total network hash rate, coin supply, transaction growth rate, etc. But basically, much like FedEx, that can track your package, right? But it's not 24/7. In one sense, it'd say, hey, it's sitting in this warehouse, but we don't. That's about all we know. But here, we can look at live 24/7, 365 information of where our money and what's happening. I would love to see our governments get on this blockchain, because then we can see every transaction they do. We can see where they're selling $2,000 toilet seats and such, and misappropriating trillions of dollars, and then causing a fake event to then cover their tracks, right? And then get you distracted. Right? So again, educate yourself. Charts, patterns, ticks. Let's go back. The chart of today, if you notice, within our rising channel here, in our little wedge that we have been talking about, we have a descending channel. So if you're a trader, you can pretty much see once it hits 2 or 3 times, you can say, hey, it hits the bottom, it goes up. So I can buy here, sell here, buy here, or sell, let it drop, buy again. So I can sell the tops and buy in at the bottom is my point. And so we're in this descending channel, and these normally break up 65% of the time. If you want to get a little more, we went over this a couple days ago, but this is because it's descending like this, the trade channels on the short side. So basically it's saying that when it hits the top, sell, and when it comes down at the bottom, after it touches a couple times, then it creates that pattern. and then I can buy in again at the top, or buy in at the bottom, sell at the top, let it drop. Or if I'm shorting or longing, then I can long here, short up at the top, long uh, at the bottom again, so I can just repeat that pattern, and you can make a lot of scalp trades really quickly and really easily. Hopefully that makes sense. My pick of the day is Arweave. Arweave has shot up pretty quickly in the last days, and I had been following it. I was into it a while back, and then all of a sudden it's just in the recent. Uh, Here in the last 30 days, it shot up 270%. 14 days, 167 days, it shot up 103, and now it's finally tailing off a little bit, that's good. When it hits a height like this and it starts coming down, a good buy-in time. So we can look over the last 30 days what it's done. So if you could have bought in down here 30 days ago, right, at less than around $7, this price went all the way up here. Now, what is Arweave? Why is it shooting up like this? Well, it is information permanent. So basically, any information you stick will perpetually be endowed to the cloud forever. So everything and anything. So we can almost look at this information that we're putting into the cloud is what we know in spirituality as the Akashic Records. So the Akashic Records is just information that's put into the airwaves. And these airwaves can be tapped into. That's why people who claim to be psychic and whatnot, they're just tapping into the electrical magnetism and the recording of information that's been put into the cloud, if you will, or the ether, the airwaves. But airwaves is a new type of storage that backs data with sustainability and perpetual endowment, allowing users to develop a truly stored data forever. So you can come down here and read all. It's a perma-web, what they call it. So on top of the Airwave network is a perma-web, a global community-owned web. So this is not owned by government. It's owned by the communities again, guys. We're not being institutionalized. We get to be part of our open community, open source. And that anyone can contribute to it, and they're paid to maintain the system. The perma-web looks just like a normal web, but so basically it's overlaying the other web, but it's permanently putting in information in forever out in the airwaves. You can kill all the computers in the world until someone makes a new one, but that information is still floating out. So what we're doing, a lot of people are downloading, scientists, spiritual people, we're downloading because we're opening up by getting rid of government-controlled brainwashing. So then by opening up, we are opening up to the higher frequencies of where this information is stored. So for me, there is the Akashic Record is nothing spiritual to me, it's electrical. And you can worship it in that belief system and label it all you want. For me, it's just electricity. Yes, it's a label, but we have to have something to converse with here. So yeah, profit sharing Arweave. So it's a really good program. I really like that. So definitely take a look at that. Do your research, your homework, and see what you think about that, guys. And leave a comment down below and let me know if you got it and if you read about it, if you have any questions. Influencer of the Day, H.G. Wells. If you've ever read his book, he goes in, and this was written, I believe, published in 1895. It was written before, but I think it was published in 1895. And he talks about not only a time machine, he talks more, and within the book, there's a system of libraries that have stored data. Anyone can access any information, and it's there forever. And even 10 million years in the future, in the movie version, they have it where I forget his name, the actor. Anywho, the main character goes into this and he sees this crystalline cube thing, or this rectangular thing. And he goes up there and there's a librarian, a digital librarian, and he's able to access any information still into the future. So it's interesting to see that what we think is spiritual is really just electrical. And so watch this movie, read the book. I prefer the book, but the movie was also entertaining. It was an older movie, I think in 2002, 3, 4, something, I don't know. I'm a book reader more than a movie watcher, but I do like my movies. So that is my influencer of the day, guys. This guy was 100 and plus years ahead of us, but what he talked about and saw into the future, because he opened up his mind, downloaded what he saw in the future, like Nostradamus and these other ones, we were able to see what was coming. So read the book. It'll give you an insight to what this new Arweave, or this new perma web storage system is as well. So all this is tied together. Everything I started from the beginning to today is all tied together, but it starts with you opening up your mind, questioning the beliefs you have. We're not there to judge them or hate them. Um, we're just there to observe them and ask yourself, do they serve you anymore? And if they don't, why are you still in them? And that we're not going to talk about changing, we're actually going to change. When you're finally out of that relationship, when you're out of that job and into another one, that's when you've changed. So we just want to change our mindsets, guys. We want to get out of the old mindset into a new one, and as long as you talk the old one and are offended by the old one, you're not out of it. Because your self-talk is more important than what you talk to anyone else. You can talk and look like you're doing everything, but your internal talk needs to match your heart, your open heart. All right, guys, I think that's enough for today. And remember, guys, like, subscribe. Please help this channel grow. I'm only about 26 videos in, 27 videos in, but I'm planning on making a few hundred. So I really want to get this message out. It is how I'm going to serve you with what I've understood and learned myself. So definitely subscribe. Ring that notification bell, guys. That robot loves it. And remember, let's keep life casual. Thanks.